week, and he was excited about it. It's a magical place to hike around. It's kind of pristine in a way because it hasn't been touched for so long. You know, not being out there, it's just been nothing but like nature taking toll and, you know, reclaiming the land in a way. So it's been exciting to view that untouched aspect of nature. Granted, it's only been, you know, 10, 15 years, but still, like, seeing a land untouched in 10 to 15 years is kind of nice to walk into. You know, it's not like a natural park, or it's not like, it's not like a state park or a city park. It's just there. It's not like Sells or Stroud's because they're visited every day. Like, there's footpaths where people go. Here, I had to literally make my own footpath, which it was kind of nice. Going there with a machete and like, well, I can see there was a path here, so I'm gonna continue this path for the land. And the current property owner, his vision was to make like a commune out of it. He wants families of like 5 or 6, and like 7 families to pull together and bring their talents of like working the land and nature together, and then, you know, all convene for like a family dinner, and then go back and working the land. He started on it in the 70s and 80s. Because no one is out there, if anyone has any questions, they should come to me because I'm the one currently working the land. There's like a sweat equity or like a physical equity that I'm putting into this land. Legally, I do not own it, right? But when it comes to who's out there the most and who's doing a lot of the work, it's you know, me, and Nico is helping me out significantly. Yeah, it's scenic too. She was really anxious. I know there's other people.
We saw her sticking her head after this. Alright, let's dive in.
Alright, okay, so my internship here this summer was renovating the greenhouse. The trailer is going to be the next step.
Congrats!
Julie, yeah, loads about it ever. So this is going to be our succulent and cactus bed propagation. So we'll have a lot of cactuses up here. Not this winter, but next winter. I left some tomatoes for you guys to pick.
I love this. What are you going to put in the epicenter?
I would like to put my starfruit tree here.
Oh, nice.
I have a starfruit tree that is currently like this big, and so
Where?
at my house.
How's it doing?
It's doing really well.
Okay.
I have to bring it inside for the winter.
Oh, you just lost your ball.
But
I knew.
just kind of letting this go for now because that's not one of my focuses. This water tank was in the top of the barn, and we moved the water tank into the center of the greenhouse.
That's a golf
And then I
ball.
wrapped it in plastic, so hopefully over the winter, well, not hopefully, the water won't freeze, and I'll have water to water my gardens in the winter time. I'm using plastic because it doesn't break down, kind of a good thing about plastic. So my water tank won't corrode or rust for anything like that. I'm using a car battery and a water pump to water my gardens currently. Pretty innovative. I've just been swapping out car batteries. I have another one that I have just on a charger.
So did you plant like everything that's in here, or like with some like?
Okay, the things that were here was that pokeweed. Hopefully I'll be able to make some ink out of it towards the end of the season. The Chenopodium was here, and that's starting to look like that's pollen, so it'll probably seed here shortly. I planted, there's basil, there's a bunch of lettuce that we let bolt and flower. The beans you see are pinto beans, and if you see any that are brown, you're welcome to pick them and, you know, crack them open. Those are pinto beans. I put the pinto beans in first because pinto, or beans in general, are nitrogen fixers, and I wanted to see what condition the soil was in. So I put the pinto beans in, and almost immediately, like within 3 or 4 days, I had sprouts like throughout all of my beds. It's probably like I probably shouldn't have put that many pinto beans in. But you know, I tore out the majority of them, and you know, so now I know the soil has significantly more nitrogen in it, just for future endeavors. So there's a big bush of rosemary here that was originally here. There's also some raspberries that were also here. I planted all these tomatoes. If you know Art's Garden on West State, or West State, he was just throwing these out.
So you said this land was just sitting here?
Right. It was sitting here for approximately 10 to 15 years untouched. The Amish had built a barn, but then shortly after building it, they've also abandoned it. For some reason.
And how did you find it?
I found it through a coworker.
Sorry.
She knew I was going to school for plant biology. I was like, alright, I'll check it out. And when I finally came out here, it was actually in pretty good shape. Really just like covered in poison ivy. So I ripped out the poison ivy and started working on putting the ceiling tiles back on. There was like 3 or 4 of them blown off. So I had to climb on top of this thing, which was really sketchy. Just screw them back down.
Did you get poison ivy?
I got loads of poison ivy. I got poison ivy 3 times this summer.
Oh my god.
Went to the hospital twice.
Oh, hospital.
It was like all up my arms, and those are cat bones.
Whoa.
I know we had a lot of cats, and there's 3 ponds on the property. So the 3rd pond, there is a pipe put 6 feet under, and so the water temperature stays at pretty constant 55 degrees.
Is that already here?
That was already on the property. Fresh rainwater, like whenever I want it. There's been one time where it backed up, and I had to get like this hand crank like air pump to like really pump the air back up through so to clear it out. But I don't know, it cleared out, and I've been getting water ever since from the ponds, which we can go check out.
Wall can pressure.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And then here's a wall can opener.
I think I've seen that before. I've never seen the can pressure.
That's so nifty.
Yeah, there's like another one of these and another one of these in the barn. He's got loads of it. It's awkward.
It's a whole house. Oh, what the?
Do you have a camera?
It took down some cobwebs. Obviously, it smells. So there's like that mold in here. So we gotta eradicate those mold walls. I've been under there once, and there was a hook up a water line, and it looked pretty solid.
If you could like renovate this. Yeah, this is a dope house. Really cool.
Yeah, it's been untouched for a while.
I just not excited.
I know, me
either. Like a full home. All I want in my future is a greenhouse, like
With attached to a house.
See, I was talking to Brian in the car, and it's gotta be sustainable. It's not gonna be sustainable.
It does smell a little bit.
Yeah, that's one issue.
Is it because of water that just sort of?
Yes, actually, house roof and the trailer roof create this nice little, place where the water levels collect.
Likes to show.
And it's crazy, what he put up there was like black tar to like seal it.
Yeah.
So obviously in time black tar is when it chip and break, and so it has done so. And yeah, the black tar is chipped, and now it's been leaking, and now this entire wall on this side is moldy because that's where all that rainwater falls. Oh, okay, so I have this is kind of something I thought was neat. This here is a pipe that comes from my water tank that's in the greenhouse. So if and whenever I need to clear that water tank and dispose of all that water, it'll go right back into this pond here.
Right. Oh wow. Did you put that in then?
The pipe?
Like this? Yeah.
Yeah, I put the pipe in. I thought about burying it, but it's already lower than the spout at the tank, so it runs out naturally pretty well, and I figured that over time the grass will just take it.
Yeah.
Wing stem. I put through this where he had a lot of construction. There's an abandoned house up on the Goldenrod. Oh, hey, Sativa.
Hey, what you been doing?
During the spring here, I could literally walk out of here with like 2 or 3 quarts of raspberries Like huge containers of raspberries, at least every other week. Yeah. Deer frequent here. I've seen a bear track.
No way.
I have up by the pond where they go through. This is about as mature as they'll get. So when it's a wild olive, you can juice them and get like olive juice, but you're gonna have to juice a lot of them.
Can I eat one?
I mean, have at it. I have. They're not upsetting.
That's good. So wait, the red ones are like.
Wild olive.
What about the black ones? Are they just not ripe yet?
Or past ripe. Another one here, you can tell by the silvery underside. Side of the leaf, like it.
Yeah, I really love that.
These ones?
These ones, that's what happened. Oh, and there's an apple tree we passed. But it's also not doing well. This is what happens when you don't prune your pear trees and apple trees.
So many apples.
There's another pond right down here, like an overflow pond. There's one more pond there. And when that pond overflows, it goes to this pond here.
There's a pond up here.
Right, there's another pond.
Overflows down here.
To this one. But this is a really large one, so it might be.
That's kind of crazy. I mean, it's similar. It's just dark. That's
Yeah.
so interesting.
There should be an app where you can take a picture of
There
it.
is.
There is.
I just don't have service.
Yeah.
And it's not very accurate.
Yeah, it's multiple.
I want to have a hammock hill. I think that'd be cool.
That would be so cool. You could just set up hammocks as your Airbnb.
That's not Airbnb. Ooh, now that they have this hammock.
is our lodging.
You only ever see them like.
Like a wild apple tree.
Smells like an apple.
Looks like an apple, smells like an apple,
Tastes like an apple.
tastes like an apple. Must be an apple.
Jam. It's actually good.
Wait, what happened?
Look at the birds.
I just got bird.
But so the water from the greenhouse is coming from this pond. Right here, there's a little line you see at the bottom of that line. There's a bucket, and that's really how simple it works. It goes right into the hillside here and down into the greenhouse.
Dope. Wow, that's so cool. So you don't get anything from the one down, the first one we passed?
You think about like what's easiest is like the natural flow.
Yeah, the gravity.
Yeah, there's more gravity pull from the top pond.
Yeah, permaculture is all about like making it as easy as possible, like being really intelligent about what you do and like minimizing the amount of work
Yeah,
for you.
minimizing maintenance.
Yeah, so
I guess.
you don't have to do as much.
Yeah.
Let it do.
And it's like sustainable system.
Yeah.
It's so cool. It's so intelligent too.
I think of it as like nature just getting off
You're
of
gonna
its
go after
training
it, wow.
wheels. And you're just like,
You just kind of like check on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how like permaculture. Hey girl.
That was a frog.
This tree is also like perfect to sit on. And this
I was
branch
actually
right
up
here-
there. I pruned this one just a little bit. But it still needs a lot more pruning to do.
Like the straightest branch I've ever seen. Asking for you to build a tree house up there.
You're welcome to try and get up there and see.
Airbnb treehouse.
Yes, so you could have so
hugely
you've got like $20 and like $20 a night. Like,
few hammocks for $5.
yeah.
Potential here. I see it as like, you know, people could camp in the spring, wake up and, you know, pick raspberries all day and then come to a community dinner where all the rest of the people who are camping bring what they've gardened, you know. I could have camping on here and then during the day they pick their veggies for lunch. You know, like a simpler way of living. And hopefully we can show that to people in a convenient sort of manner, you know, because that's what the world is kind of centered towards nowadays is convenience.
I wrote down the
So we
lot
can make it
from
as
the,
convenient as
plant
possible
ID
without all the side
I feel
effects
like right
that
now
are harming the
getting
environment. Do you hear any cars?
No.
That's what I'm talking about. that is it right there.
You get an apple.
No car.
Cars, dude. I've been missing that shit.
Food Matters camp out. Right here.
I gotta go.
You know, in the morning at Union Street Diner, and I'd get off work around like 1 or 2 o'clock, and then I'd immediately come here and spend it until 9.
Yeah, I can see a light too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and working during the evening, during the cold part of the day.
Exactly, yeah. It's either, it has to be the morning or the evening.
What is it? You have too many apples.
Yeah,
Too many apples.
she's sugared up.
Aww.